What's happening, folks? Back with another music video reaction, and we're going to watch another hardcore music video, and in this case it actually is a music video, and this is one I have seen before. But yeah, I'm going to do a few videos from Angerfist, who is a very famous producer in the world of hardcore. Now, he got his start in it was in the early 2000s, I think maybe even the very, very late 90s, but I think like his first major releases were like, 2000, 2001, something like that. And he's become known as kind of like one of the biggest artists in what they call mainstream hardcore. Though, as I said, I think some of his earliest stuff was kind of still in the like old school gabber mode. Nevertheless, people will know my favorite type of hardcore is early hardcore, and both meaning like classic gabber from the 90s and early hardcore meaning hardcore that's made now, but in classic gabber stylings with a lot of acid work, heavy kick drums, distorted 909 like bass lines, and so on. Nevertheless, the point is I do listen to different kinds of hardcore, and when it comes to like mainstream hardcore, Angerfist is one of my favorite artists, and I have seen him, and that's relevant here, meaning I saw him at a show on New Year's Eve at the end of I think 2015, or maybe it was the like turning into 2015. I'm not sure. Either way, it was either turning 2015 or turning 2016, and at the time his new album was called The Deadfaced Dimension, and this is the title track of that album. Now, except for his very earliest stuff, like his albums are like digital only. Now, don't get me wrong, he's had tracks on vinyl like into the modern era, or into more recent years, but I think all of his like full albums, which tend to have like 25, 30 tracks on them, they tend to have a lot of tracks because he makes shorter tunes that kind of like get right to it right away. Yeah, I think they're all digital only. So for a vinyl DJ like me, it means that I only have a handful of his tunes like in my actual collection, though I do have some like MP3s of his stuff. But the point is, yeah, this is a track from his Deadfaced Dimension album. It's the title track, and it features an MC called MC Nolz, who I admittedly don't know anything about outside of this track. But yeah, the video speaks to like civil unrest and a rising resistance against authoritarian regimes. So I don't know, without getting too much into it, I feel like it is a very appropriate time to do this track. So yeah, let's give this video a watch. It's the official music video for Angerfist with MC Nolz and the tune The Deadfaced Dimension.
Beneath the surface of our soulless society, a sinister legion of warriors marches towards its long-awaited release. As we follow the troops of Angerfist, we walk the path of destruction, the path into the Deadfaced Dimension.
That's a great shot at the end there. So yeah, he's from the Netherlands, which again, if you didn't know, is sort of the original cradle of hardcore. And though it's also popular in some other places, like Italy is another big hardcore hotspot or destination. Yes, a lot of the like classic artists, and even today, a lot of the like biggest artists are either Dutch themselves or release their records in the Netherlands. Nevertheless, the point is the shots that they like did for the video. It looks like there is some stock footage in there, but the shots they did in the video, I'm assuming that's in the Netherlands, though I don't know that. But yeah, I like the idea that they're like converting people, which in this case it's they're shooting DNA into them, and then like they quickly become like foot soldiers to the cause. But you can interpret that I think more broadly in the idea that people being convinced that what is happening in society is not okay and there has to be resistance to it. And I like the shot of the original Angerfist like in the room watching all the chaos and destruction that he's created, and then eventually grabbing his weapon and going out onto the street to lead the Angerfist army. So yeah, it's a cool conceptual video, and I do like the track. It's kind of like very melodic when it actually gets into the main drops, and I do think Mr. Nolz, he has the rugged voice. It fits for the MC work. So yeah, a cool video, a great tune. Again, I took some videos of it back in the day, and then because of when I went to see them, or him I mean, and he actually did a joint set with Miss Kate, a Ukrainian like female hardcore DJ who has collaborated on some tracks. At the time, I think they were like an item. I don't know if they're an item anymore, but I think they were like together, and so they did like a back-to-back set, meaning not a 2x4, but where they were like taking turns like mixing, and it was a really cool party. Now there's a full video of the party up on YouTube, and I'm trying to remember, it was like Fresh NYE, like Fresh New Year's Eve. So yeah, it was in Long Beach, so you could see that. But yeah, I had some like personal clips, and I remember like I took a clip when the main drop in this tune happens, and a lot of people kind of did that like shotgun gesture, so it was like a really cool moment with the crowd. But either way, a top tune, a cool video. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.